Did you know that 8 out of the 21 consonants of the Portuguese alphabet can just disappear when we speak? That's 38% of silent consonants. No wonder you have a hard time understanding us when we speak. And this is on top of the vowels, which can also vanish mid-word just like that. But I've talked a lot about vanishing vowels on this channel, so let me show you how you can spot the 5 different types of silent consonants with examples. This way you don't overpronounce anything, we understand you, and guess what? You can understand us a bit better without all the frustration. Okay, the first category of silent consonants we need to address is precisely the big elephant in the room. If you ever want to see at least 2 Portuguese people argue on a topic different than politics or football, throw in the words novo acordo ortográfico. I'm talking about the new spelling agreement. Basically, it's a series of spelling changes that were imposed or implemented, depending on which side of the argument you're on, in 2008 in Portugal. The purpose was to standardize written Portuguese across all Portuguese-speaking countries. In case it isn't clear, this is still a new agreement, and Portugal is a very old country. You are bound to come across text with the old spelling, so watch out for the letter C when it has a K sound in words like ação, currently spelled ação, or fatura, these days spelled fatura, which has once confused my Dutch husband. The moment I added in the C, he goes, ah, factuur, got it. A funny one is factu. Here the C is pronounced, but I don't promise that's always the case. Sometimes we say fatu, and it means fact. Whereas fatu without the C means suit. Probably in the past both had the C, and context would save the day, unless someone would have written de fato fato tá sujo. Another very common letter the new spelling agreement decided to retire is the P in words like recessão and ótimo. I guess the P was pronounced at the same point in history, but definitely not in my lifetime. Or perhaps we just inherited the word from Latin and left it as it was. Quem sabe? In case you want to truly sound Portuguese, you need to stop seeing H's at the start of words, especially in words your language made up, like hip-hop, hobby, and Harry Potter. These are the true test of your accent. The other day, I said Harry Potter to a Portuguese woman, making it as neutral as possible, neither Harry Potter nor Harry Potter, but she did take a while to get it and threw back a Harry Potter. But don't dismiss Portuguese words too. It's homem, and história. I am tempted to explain why that I in história is mute, but this video is about consonants, so let's move on. Then we have the letter that you don't have to pretend you don't see, but really it's given up so much of its identity to another one that its sound is not what you would expect. I call them the givers. An M and an N after a vowel, if they are part of the same syllable, will not sound like consonants, but make that vowel nasal instead. Let me demonstrate. Também, not também. Também. Of course, in natural speech, it will sound like também, so you may need to watch this whole video I made about it, because também is often mixed up with também. Here's a funny case where pronouncing the M as an M, when you shouldn't, is sim, the word for yes, sim, and sim, as in the SIM card, cartão SIM. Here we close our lips. And now one example with the N, silt, silt. Can you hear it's a nasal sound? If not, grab my free No Cinderella pronunciation guide from the link below to train your ears more and have a good summary of the main phonetic rules in European Portuguese. Next is the category I'm calling Take Me for Granted. I know that a lot of you expect to hear a letter when you see it written down. Big mistake, of course. It will only lead to confusion. The best strategy is to expect to hear nothing and then celebrate the odd sound here and there that you do pick up. But enough with the joke. The D is a consonant you need to watch out for. When it leads the way in the word, de, meaning of, but is squished between two other more important words, you don't hear it at all. Do you want to bet? Listen out then. Multumat. Multumat. Did you hear the D in it? I swear I said it. Now the E I didn't pronounce, but my No Cinderella pronunciation guide explained why that is. A very odd case of the D disappearing is in the word obrigado. Well, it disappears if you expect to hear obrigado, do. I was so proud when some of my unschoolers noticed I say that final do as the English sound the, obrigado. I had not noticed it myself. As for the R, another consonant you may fall into the trap of taking for granted is, I'm afraid, also in my list. When it comes at the end of the word, the queen, the stressed syllable, is going to be there. So lazy as we are, we just open the vowel before it and sort of drop the R, but only when we're in a hurry and speaking fast. My favorite example of this is the expression we say all the time. Quer dizer. Quer dizer. Two R's in a row that are silent. We can't get any better than this. Or can it? Of course. The final category of silent consonants I have for you today is what I call the drag-on consonant. Whenever you see the letter S, sh, followed by a C, s, you can speak very proper Portuguese and say crescer, crescer, or nascer, nascer. But if you're not reporting on the daily news, it means you might be just chatting away with a friend, and then speech sort of forces you to cut corners and say crescer. The sh sound takes over and drags on, and the s sound of the C is completely ignored. Crescer, crescer. Another example where the exact same thing happens is nascer, nascer or nascer, nascer. Believe it or not, this can also happen mid-sentence, not just in the middle of a word. The other day, my unschooler got super confused when I asked her, what time is it? But she understood something about the floor. I said, que horas são? Instead of making it easy for her and saying, que horas são? So she understood chão instead of horas são. But in my defense, this was not a lesson. We had just had lunch, and I confess I was not trying to make my Portuguese more understandable for a learner of the language. I was just talking like a lot of other fellow Portuguese natives do. Still, I must say, lesson learned. She won't forget it, and I hope neither will you. But you know what? This business of marrying words that end and start with similar sounds doesn't end here. But I'm almost done, I promise. It's very common for us to combine a word that ends in a sh sound with another that starts with the same sound, also a sh. This makes it extra hard for you to know when a word starts and another one begins. Or maybe you didn't even pick up on the fact that two words were said, not one. Here are some examples. Queixar, queixar. Pessoas estranhas. Pessoas estranhas. As mesmas escolhas. As mesmas escolhas. If you're a bit confused about where word boundaries are in European Portuguese, with good reason, you may want to watch this video where I tell you how the Night of Portuguese will help shed light to where a word ends and the next one begins.